What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Solorio Eats. So today we're gonna be getting into, I think, one of my favorite things of all time. I'm talking about burritos, and not just any burrito. I'm talking about Cali style burritos. So today I'm gonna be making a Carne Asada burrito. You know, I used to go to this awesome spot back in PA where I grew up, Pennsylvania. It was called Roburritos in York County. You know, Roburritos made some really delicious burritos. They still do. It's still out there. But this place, you know, was super small. It wasn't a big place at all. It was like a hole in the wall. They had 3 little booths. And, you know, this place had like punk vibes. You know how that they had dollar bills on the wall. You know, the first couple of dollars this place got, like, from people, they kind of drew over the dollar bill and they hung them all on the back of the wall. So when you walked in, you came in, you ordered a burrito. The whole backdrop was these dollar bills with like luchadores. One of them had like a mohawk on it. So this place, you know, as soon as you walked in, it was a total vibe. But not just that, the burritos themselves, you know, were on point. The seasoning on them was great. The beans were done right. The rice was done right. And then, you know, you had nice sauces to go with them. They had somebody making sauces for them. It was called Old Grumpy Mark's hot sauce. So when I was there, I would always order the pulled pork burrito. That thing was my favorite. It always sold out fast. If you came in too late and you tried to order a pulled pork burrito, it was gone. You know, it was completely gone. So, you know, you had to get in there quick. And then I used to pair it up with the Old Grumpy Mark's hot sauce, the Texas Hold'em barbecue sauce, and I would just drizzle that thing right on my burrito. But those two things together was a match made in heaven. Those things just slapped so hard. They were a match made in heaven. You could not beat those two things together. And on top of that, Roburritos would charge you an extra $1. That's right, an extra $1 if you order no guac. Who in their right mind would order a burrito with no guac? You know what I mean? Like, who would do that? So today I'll be showing you guys how to make a carne asada burrito. You know, I don't have pulled pork or a smoker, so I can't obviously do my favorite. So the next best thing we're gonna do is carne asada. And typically it's made with flank steak, but today we're gonna be making it with tri-tip. You know, it's super flavorful, intense in beef flavor. It's reasonably priced, so if you're not familiar with the tri-tip, so the flank steak on a cow sits right on the bottom. The tri-tip is kind of like a triangle shape and sits right here on top below the bottom sirloin, and then you have your round over here. But today I'll be showing you how to make the carne asada, you know, the marinade, and then I'm also gonna do a play on that favorite sauce of mine, the Texas Hold'em. I'm gonna do my own play on it. You know, it's Halloween, so we're gonna be making something super spicy for you guys today. I'm gonna be using Carolina Reaper peppers, ghost peppers, and scorpion peppers. So we're gonna be using one of each, and this thing is gonna, it might kill me, but I think those 3 peppers are gonna be very flavorful along with the sauce. I'll be showing you guys how to marinate your tri-tip steak and that carne asada marinade. You know, showing you how to properly cook your beans from scratch, rice, and how to properly roll a burrito. This isn't a wrap, okay? We're not making a wrap. You have to properly roll a burrito.
All right, so let's talk about the marinade. You know, this thing is what's gonna make this carne asada super flavorful, right? Nobody wants a boring ass piece of meat. So we want something that's gonna be very delicious, right? And this marinade is what's gonna help this thing take it to the next level. So we're obviously gonna marinate this overnight. So let's get into making the marinade. So for this, we're gonna need 1 bunch of cilantro. And to that, we're also going to add 2 teaspoons of garlic. So the cilantro and the garlic is going to make this super fragrant and delicious and herbaceous. And the rest of the ingredients in no particular order. We're going to add 1 cup of OJ, some orange juice, along with 2 limes that we're going to squeeze all the juice out of. You know, the lime juice and the orange juice, that's really going to help this thing break down and tenderize overnight. And we're also going to add white distilled vinegar. It's also going to help this thing break down and tenderize. We're also going to add 1 jalapeno in there. You know, all the seeds in there. We want this thing to be a little spicy. So we're going to be hitting it with that kosher salt, not your granny salt, kosher salt. Then we're going to hit it with a little bit of soy sauce. So the soy sauce is going to impart, you know, a little bit of umami-ness to this. It's going to bring out more of those rich beef flavors out of the tri-tip, and that's what we want. And then we're going to finish it off with a little bit of canola oil. Kind of, you know, we want the marinade to kind of stick to the meat as it soaks overnight. So we're just going to take our tri-tip and slice it thin. We want to slice it as thin as possible because when we go to sear our carne asada, we're going to sear it at a really high temperature. So we want to get a quick char on this. So we don't want to be cutting thick boys. We want really skinny boys. And then we're going to pour it up with our marinade. You know, look at that drip. Look at that drip. And once we get all of our meat nice and soaked and lathered, we're just going to mix it up. We want to make sure that we get every little part of the meat covered in the marinade. So we want every spot to be covered in the delicious marinade. So don't miss a spot. So we're going to let this thing soak overnight and really, you know, have a party in there. Really get intense with flavor. All right, so let's talk beans. So we're going to be using black beans for our burrito. And I think a lot of people out there just mess up cooking beans. So it's super easy to make, not hard at all. So we're just going to soak our beans using a 3-to-1 ratio. We're going to do 1 cup of dry black beans to 3 cups of cold water. And we're just going to cover them up and let them soak overnight. A minimum of 12 hours and you're ready to go. All right, now that we've had our beans soaking overnight, now it's time to cook them. So pull them out of the fridge. So we're just going to rinse off the dirty water. As you can see here, our beans have plumped up from absorbing some of the water, and that's what we want. It's going to help with the cooking time. It's going to shorten the cooking time. And then we're going to put our beans back into a pot. And we're going to add another 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 cups of cold water, and we're going to put these on the stovetop to cook on a low simmer. Make sure to not add any salt at this point. If you do, the beans are going to stay hard and it's going to take forever for them to cook. So we're going to add the salt later. Important part. So we're going to simmer these for about 40 minutes to an hour and they should be ready to go. So we're going to cook our rice here in our rice cooker. Super easy to use. We're going to do a 2-to-1 ratio, 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. And we're just going to let this thing go until it's fully cooked. And if you don't have anything around to measure your rice with or your water, you can use the fail-safe way, you know, the Asian way, up to the first knuckle in the water from the rice. Perfect. So we're going to be adding guac to this thing, guacamole. If you want to see how I made this, you guys can check out the last video I posted and see how to make this delicious guac. So to start our sauce, we're going to start by cutting our onions in half and peeling them. And then we're going to julienne them. We're going to add them to our pot. And we're going to start with a little bit of canola oil. And we're going to add our onions to that. Make sure to season them with a little bit of that kosher salt. And then we're going to caramelize our onions a little bit. We're going to get them to a little bit of a golden brown color. And to that, we're going to add a tablespoon of garlic, minced garlic. You know, you don't want to add your garlic in too early because it'll burn. Because we're going to kind of have the heat a little high. After we get them kind of fragrant together, the onions and the garlic, then we're going to add our peppers to that. Those spicy, crazy spicy peppers. So we're going to add that Carolina Reaper and then the scorpion pepper and the ghost pepper. So this thing is going to be crazy hot. It's going to burn your mouth. And to this, we're also going to add Worcestershire sauce. You know, we're going to do a tablespoon. And then we're going to hit it with white wine vinegar, about a cup. And then for whatever reason, my camera cut off. So you're probably thinking I'm crazy. Where's the sugar in this? It's got brown sugar. I added a cup to this and also a tablespoon of black pepper, ground black pepper. It just didn't make it in the video, but make sure you add that. You don't want to burn your face off. You kind of want a little bit of balance. And to this, we're going to add 1 can of tomato sauce. We're going to kind of let everything simmer together. We want to let everything kind of become one. You want, you know, the peppers to kind of infuse into the sauce and everything come together. And after a while, after it's been kind of reducing for a little bit, we're going to add soy sauce. You know, that's going to impart another layer of umami-ness again. And it's going to tie everything together. Then we're going to finish it with some kosher salt. So after that, all we have to do is blend this up. So make sure that the top is on your blender. You know, you don't want this thing flying everywhere and hitting you in the eyeballs. You don't want to burn yourself. Please don't burn yourself. Cover your eyes. Make sure the thing is on there. So hopefully we make something that's as delicious as that old Grumpy Mark sauce, that Texas Hold'em sauce. You know, I know it's going to be a lot spicier, but hopefully it's within that general flavor profile that I remember so fondly as a kid. But yeah, that's it. Let's try it out. So all we have left now is for us to sear our steak. So we're going to add a little bit of canola oil to our saute pan, here our cast iron pan. And we're going to sear this really high. You know, this thing is not going to take long to cook. So we're going to get it nice and crispy on both sides at a high temp. It's going to go super fast. And then we're going to take it and we're going to put it onto our cutting board. And we're just going to give this thing a little bit of rough chop. And that's it. So now our beans are done. Very last thing, just season it with a little bit of salt. You know, like we talked about earlier, we're going to hit it at the very end. And that's it. Let that salt kind of soak up. Let it cool down on the stovetop. Let it absorb. That's it.
So once again, guys, I had a lot of fun making this burrito for you guys today. This Cali style burrito. If you guys are new to this whole thing, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that bell icon, and you guys will be notified every time I drop a new food video. Make sure to share this video. You know, you can show your mama how to make a burrito, how to make a carne asada burrito, teach her how to make sauce, the beans, the rice, show her how to do the whole nine. Once again, guys, thank you for watching. Until next time, love you guys. So if you want to get your fix on and you need some more food videos, click here. See how I make these smash burgers.